Imagine a, imagine a Myanmar where the 2021 military coup never happened, a Myanmar where democracy continued to flourish, foreign investment grew, and the people enjoyed economic prosperity. In this video, we'll explore a what-if scenario. How would Myanmar's economy look today if the coup hadn't disrupted the nation's progress? We'll break it down into 10 key areas of economic development, ranging from foreign investment and tourism to tech growth, infrastructure, and poverty reduction. Let's dive in. Before the coup, Myanmar was on the radar of global investors. Between 2016 and 2020, the country was seeing increasing foreign direct investment, FDI, particularly from countries like Japan, South Korea, and Singapore. The political reforms that started in 2011 opened doors for investors looking to tap into Myanmar's large, youthful population and untapped natural resources. If the coup had never occurred, Myanmar could have continued strengthening its trade relationships with regional powers and Western nations. With more investor confidence in the country's stability, we'd likely see a booming economy supported by foreign investments in energy, manufacturing, and agriculture. Factories and new infrastructure would have provided millions of jobs, spurring industrial growth and export opportunities. That would have positioned Myanmar as a key player in global supply chains, especially for neighboring countries like China and India. Tourism was one of Myanmar's most promising sectors before the coup. In 2019, tourism brought in over $2 billion, and with its stunning landscapes, rich culture, and historical treasures, Myanmar was on track to become one of Southeast Asia's top travel destinations. If political stability had continued, we'd likely be witnessing a tourism explosion right now. Myanmar could have focused on developing its infrastructure, better airports, more luxury hotels, and improved transportation, to accommodate a growing number of tourists. Ecotourism and cultural tourism would have thrived, creating jobs in hospitality, transportation, and local crafts, benefiting millions of families in rural and urban areas alike. With tourism, the country would have found an avenue to earn foreign currency, further strengthening its economy. One of the most exciting possibilities for Myanmar's economic future lies in the tech sector. Before the coup, Myanmar experienced a rapid rise in smartphone penetration and mobile internet access, with companies like Ooredoo and Telenor bringing affordable internet to millions. This laid the foundation for a thriving digital economy. In this alternate scenario, Myanmar could have become a regional tech hub, with Yangon leading the charge as a center for startups and innovation. We might have seen local entrepreneurs launching apps, fintech solutions, and e-commerce platforms tailored for Myanmar's market, mirroring the success stories in Southeast Asian countries. Global tech investors and accelerators would have seen Myanmar as a ripe ground for innovation, and this growth would have led to better paying jobs, increased connectivity. Myanmar's infrastructure was poised for a massive upgrade before the coup, with support from international donors and regional initiatives like China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. From highways to railways, ports to power plants, Myanmar needed these projects to support its growing economy and population. In our coup-free scenario, Myanmar would likely have seen significant improvements in its infrastructure by now. With ongoing investment in transportation and energy, the country would have expanded its road networks, modernized its railways and upgraded its airport and seaport to facilitate international trade. Energy infrastructure, particularly renewable energy projects like solar farms and hydropower, would have seen major growth, helping to solve the country's chronic energy shortages. This modernization would have connected Myanmar to global supply chains, lowered the cost of doing business, and improved the daily lives of millions of people. Agriculture has always been the backbone of Myanmar's economy, employing over 60% of the population. Before the coup, there were efforts to modernize farming techniques and increase agricultural productivity through technology, better infrastructure, and foreign partnerships. Without the coup, Myanmar could have focused on improving its agricultural sector, attracting investment to help farmers transition to more modern farming practices. This could have significantly boosted exports of rice, rubber, and other crops, further increasing the income of rural populations. Access to better markets, both domestically and internationally, would have provided a vital economic boost to Myanmar's rural areas, helping to reduce poverty and improve living standards. With continued economic development, Myanmar was beginning to see the rise of a middle class. A stable economy would have allowed more people to move from poverty to middle income status, increasing consumer spending and improving the quality of life. In this alternate reality, the middle class would have continued to grow, supported by better job opportunities, higher wages, and improved access to healthcare and education. A thriving middle class not only means more spending but also a more politically stable society that could drive sustainable growth in sectors like real estate, retail, and education. Myanmar was making strides toward financial inclusion before the coup, with the Yangon Stock Exchange opening and new banking reforms taking place. Digital payments and mobile banking were beginning to take hold, giving more people access to financial services. If the coup hadn't occurred, Myanmar's financial sector would likely have seen continued growth, attracting foreign banks and financial institutions. A more developed financial sector would have provided businesses and individuals with better access to capital, fueling entrepreneurship and expanding opportunities. With financial integration into the global economy, Myanmar could have positioned itself as a key player in Southeast Asia's financial markets, offering better services like mobile banking and digital payments, especially in rural areas where traditional banking services were limited. As a result, the digitalization of finance would have enabled millions of people to access savings, credit, and insurance products, further boosting economic activities and empowering entrepreneurs. Education is the cornerstone of long-term economic growth, and Myanmar was beginning to make strides in this area before the coup. The government had begun to focus on improving the education system and expanding access to quality education. In an alternate reality without the coup, we'd likely see even greater investments in education and skills development. Myanmar could have developed partnerships with international universities and vocational training centers to equip its young population with the skills necessary for a modern economy. With a focus on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, education and vocational training, the workforce would have become more skilled and adaptable, making the country an attractive destination for foreign businesses looking to expand their operations. More skilled workers would mean higher productivity, better paying jobs, and a stronger economy overall, further solidifying Myanmar's position as an emerging economy. One of the key benefits Myanmar would have experienced if the coup had never happened is the continued political stability under democratic governance. Political stability is crucial for building investor confidence and ensuring long-term economic growth. In this alternate timeline, Myanmar would have continued to benefit from international diplomatic relations, securing trade agreements, and maintaining good standing with regional organizations. Political stability would allow for the implementation of long-term economic reforms, from anti-corruption measures to business-friendly regulations, leading to a more transparent and efficient economy. With a stable, democratic government, Myanmar could have avoided the economic isolation and sanctions it faces today, allowing for inclusive growth that benefits all sectors of society. Finally, in a Myanmar where the coup never happened, the most significant impact might have been on poverty reduction and improvements in social welfare. Before the coup, Myanmar was seeing progress in lifting people out of poverty, with poverty rates dropping steadily over the years.